Imagine this. The war is over. The world has changed. Enemies have become allies. But one soldier kept fighting, hidden in the jungle, convinced that everything around him was just a trick. This isn't the plot of a movie, it's a true story of a man who lived in a war but had already ended. For 30 years, Hiroo Onoda was his name, a Japanese lieutenant born in 1922. He joined the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II and was trained as an intelligence officer. His training was brutal, survival in the harshest conditions, guerrilla tactics, deception, and above all, never, ever surrender. In 1944, as the war was reaching its peak, Onoda was sent to the Philippine island of Lubang. His mission was clear: sabotage enemy advances and conduct guerrilla warfare. But shortly after, the unimaginable happened. Japan surrendered in 1945 after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. For the rest of the world, the war was over, but not for Onoda. When American planes dropped leaflets announcing Japan's surrender, Onoda dismissed them as enemy propaganda. He simply could not believe his country had given up. He and a small group of fellow soldiers retreated deep into the jungle. They raided villages for food, launched sporadic attacks, and lived in constant fear of being discovered. To the locals, they were like phantoms of war, appearing suddenly from the forest, only to vanish again. One by one, his comrades were killed in skirmishes or surrendered. Eventually, Onoda was left completely alone. Imagine it, one man against time itself, living off stolen rice, hunting livestock, even eating insects to survive. He patched up his uniform, polished his rifle, and kept himself ready for a battle that would never come. Years turned into decades. By now, many thought he was dead. Others whispered about a ghost soldier haunting the island. But in Onoda's mind, he was still a proud soldier of Japan, waiting for orders that never came. Then in 1974, 30 years after the war, something extraordinary happened. A young Japanese adventurer named Norio Suzuki set out on a quest to find him. Against all odds, he did. Face to face with Onoda, Suzuki tried to convince him the war had long ended, but Onoda refused. He declared, "I will not surrender unless my commanding officer orders me to do so." The Japanese government then tracked down his former commander, now retired and living a quiet civilian life. They brought him to Lubang. Standing before Onoda, the commander told him, "The war is over. Lay down your weapon." And at that moment, after 30 years in the jungle, Hiroo Onoda finally lowered his rifle. Witnesses say he wept as he handed over his weapon. When he returned to Japan, he was received with mixed emotions. To some, he was a national hero, an unshakable symbol of loyalty and discipline. To others, he was a victim of military indoctrination, a man who wasted his entire life on a war that had ended decades earlier. But no matter how you see him, Onoda's story remains one of the most astonishing of the 20th century. A man trapped in time, fighting a war that no longer existed. And it leaves us with one haunting question: is blind loyalty a noble virtue, or a curse that can steal a man's entire life? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to support the channel by subscribing, hitting the like button, and turning on the notification bell so we can keep bringing you more strange and fascinating tales from history.